Good morning, guys. In the last session, we completed our implementation related to service layer. Okay, we created user service and we implemented all the methods that are related to user service. Okay, then next one, we have created dashboard service also, and we have implemented that method. In the dashboard service method, the logic that we are writing in order to get the quotation from the third party API. So third party API is mapped to one GET request, and it is giving some JSON data as a response for us. It is giving JSON data as a response for us. So that is the reason. So what we are doing, we are using REST template class, which is a predefined class available in the Spring Boot. So using that REST template, we are calling get for entity method. We are calling get for entity method. So it is going to send a get request and we are getting the response. That response we are mapping to quote API response DTO and we are returning that. In that we are having ID, quotation, and author name is also available. Okay, good. The next one, we need to develop our controllers and UI pages for our application. We need to develop the controllers and UI pages for our application. So first one, user controller. We need one method to display the registration page, and we need to write methods to load the country's data, state data, city data, and registration page is also required. So let me go here and create the controller here. User controller is available. Inside the user controller, I'm going to inject a user service here. I'm going to take the user controller. In the user controller, I'm going to inject a user service. Okay, so how to perform the injection, guys? Can you tell me how to inject that class? How to inject one class into another class? Can you guys tell me that? So by using
we can perform.
By using auto wiring, we are going to inject that one. Okay, so good. So let me inject that user service here. Private user service. So I'm going to perform auto wiring. So here I'm using @auto-wired annotation. Now I need to write the method to display this page. The register here page we need to display. So for this, I'm writing one method called public string load register page. Okay, so we need to display one registration page here. So for this, I'm using a get mapping @get mapping of /register. So for this method, I'm taking model object as a parameter. Can you guys tell me what is the purpose of this model object here?
Send the data to controller to
What is the purpose of the model object here?
We send the data controller to UI.
Yes, it is used to send the data from controller to UI. Now, look at this screen and tell me what data we need to send from controller to UI now.
User data.
What data? Only user
Registered
data? Only user data?
And also
what data we need to send from the controller?
Country data, state data,
screen.
city data.
Registered DTU data.
Sorry?
Country data, state data, city data.
Country data, city data, and
user data.
Sorry?
State data.
Registered
Country data,
DTU
city
data.
data. What else we need to send?
Register DTO, we can send register DTO simply.
We can send register DTO. In that DTO, we need to send user data. So we need to send basically user data we need to send. Okay, user data we need to send, and we need to send the registration form DTO, country data, state data, and city data we need to send here. Country data, city data, and state data we need to send here. Are you getting my point? So let me go here and call the method that is user service dot get countries. User service dot get countries. Okay, so this is one method which is used to get the countries. So that countries we are going to get as a map here. So this is our countries map. This is our countries map. Now we need to set this in the model dot add attribute key comma value. My key is countries. Key is countries. And the value is countries map. Value is countries map. So I'm going to return here register page. I'm going to return register page here. Along with this one, I'm going to set a user register DTO object also. Okay, register form DTO. I'm going to create register form DTO, which is register form DTO, which is register form is equal to new register form DTO. Okay, so I'm writing this method. I'm creating the object. Now here I'm using model dot add attribute key comma value register form available and the register form DTO object I'm taking. That object also I'm setting in the model. So whenever you access this method, whenever you access this get request method, whenever you access this get request method, it is going to give you the information related to load that form. Okay, so a map object I'm getting get countries method. That countries I'm storing in the model. Then I'm getting the register form DTO. So model dot add attribute of register form DTO is available, and I'm returning register page. With that register page will be loaded. With this register page will be loaded. Okay, then along with this one, so we need few more methods also here. We need few more methods also to load the states and cities here. We need to load the states and we need to load the cities also here, guys. We need to load the states and we need to load the cities also here. So can you tell me the methods in order to load the states and cities here? Can you tell me the method to load the states and cities here?
User service dot get cities.
Yes, we need to write the separate method. We need to write the separate method in order to load the states and cities. We need to write a separate method in order to load the states and cities here. So the load states and cities, is it going to return a separate page, or states and cities will return only data for the drop down? Guys, states and cities will return a separate page, or they will return only data for the drop downs?
Only data.
Data from the drop down.
Only
Yes.
data
How
for
to
the
return only data from the controller? So generally controller method will return string. That string means a view page. Controller will return a string. That string means a view page. Now I don't want view page. I want only states. So for this, what we are going to do is we will write one method called get states method. I'm going to write one method called get states method. So the states, it is expecting country ID as a input. So get states method is available. That get states method is expecting country ID. So I'm going to expect that country ID as a path variable. I'm expecting country ID as a path variable. To take it as a path variable, I'm going to use path variable annotation. I'm using path variable annotation, and I'm going to specify integer country ID. So this is user service dot get states. User service dot get states with country ID, which is going to give me states map. Okay, now I will keep this as states and I will keep this as states map. Directly I'm going to return the states map from this method. So this method is going to return the map directly there is no need of any UI. There is no need of any UI. Directly it is returning the map for us. Directly it is returning the map for us. There is no use of any UI here. There is no use of any UI here. Now look at this method. If you want to return directly response from the controller method, we will use one annotation called @response body annotation. What is the annotation we are using, guys? @response body annotation we are using. So first method is the register method, which is used to load the registration page. First method is used to load the registration page. Then what? First method is returning the register page. To load that page, first country's data should come through the drop down. Then form binding is required. That's why register form we are creating. And we are returning this page as register. And the next one, states method. Once a country is selected, I need to get the states based on the country ID. Okay. So once the country is selected, based on the country ID, I need to get the states. So that's why I'm writing one method called getStates method. It is expecting country ID as a path parameter. Using that country ID, I will get the states and I will send the states to the UI as a direct response. UI page is not required. First time when you click on the register, then only registration page will come. Then once you select the country, only states should come. Page should not be reloaded. Ajax call we are going to make here. So Ajax call we are going to make here. So that's why no need to return the view page. That is the reason I'm using response body method. Similarly, we are going to use cities method also. Similarly, we are going to use cities method also. So let us take this one. So I'm going to write another method called getCities method. GetCities method available. Here I'm writing cities. To get the cities, we are going to use state ID. Okay. So let me take the path variable as a state ID getCities. Okay. User service that getCities with the state ID. We are going to get the cities map here. Okay. So the key is cities and the value is cities map and I will return cities map. So this is the page which is used to return. So this is the page which is used to return. This is the method which is used to display the page. So when user trying to register first time, they will go for the registration page. So when they click on the registration page, this method will be loading that page. So to load this page, we need countries data in the drop down and we need form binding object also. So I'm setting the countries in the model attribute and I'm setting the form binding object and I'm returning register page. Once the register page is loaded, then we can get the states based on the country ID. When they select country ID by using Ajax call, I'm going to get the states. Only states should come without reloading the page. So that's why this method will return direct the states map by using response body. Okay, then once the state is selected, based on the state ID, we need to load the cities here. So for that, I'm writing one more method called getCities method. GetCities method will take state ID as a path variable. Based on the state ID, it will get the cities map and I will return the cities map directly by using response body. These three methods are used to load the registration page. That's it. Are you able to understand the purpose of these three methods? First method to load the page only with countries data. Second method to load the states based on the country selection. Third method to load the cities based on the state selection. Look at these methods now. And if you see second method, third method, I am using response body annotation.
Sir, the response body is to just display on the
Just
response
to send
only.
the response to the UI directly. No need of any view pages.
Okay, sir. Okay.
We no need of any view pages. Directly we want to send the response to the UI.
Right, sir. Response is here states map and cities map, right, sir?
Correct.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, already we have model to send the response, right?
Model is there. Model, I mean, when you are sending the UI page with the then we need to go for the model. Here I don't have the UI page. No?
Okay.
Direct response I want to send without any UI. You got my point.
Sir, in that
Yes.
case, can we comment line number 39 and 49, sir? Because we are not sending it to UI, right, sir? Why we are setting it to, why we are adding it to model, sir?
Yeah, that we can remove this. Yes, correct. It's not
Right,
required.
sir. Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Look at these methods, guys.
So path variable is the one that is inside this
Use it to
curly
read the
bracket,
data
right,
from the URL.
here, right,
When
sir.
you want to read the data from the URL, either you can go for query parameter or you can go for path parameter. Query parameter means it is key and value. Path parameter means it is a direct value.
Right, sir.
Guys, are you clear with these three methods I have created now?
Oh, hi, sir. Instead of calling as a method, I used like in a service, I'm calling like get states and get cities.
I did not get your point.
Hello. Actually,
Yeah,
I created method to get the cities and states within the service that actually calling within the load register page.
sir, multiple ways you can implement it, sir. So this is one approach. You can follow a different approach also.
Yeah.
Anybody not able to understand?
Sir, that register form has all the data, right, sir, including the countries also?
Sorry.
The register form has all the data, right, sir, including the countries also, right, sir?
Yes, sir. IDs will be available. When you submit the form, the IDs will be populated to this form.
Right, sir.
Okay.
So
Good.
we are sending the countries also separately, right, sir? In line number 25.
Yes, sir. Because it is a map we are sending. Na? First, we are sending as a map. Then you will select one country in that form. Whatever the country you select, that ID will be stored into form binding object.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever the country you select, that country ID will be stored into form binding object. Good. Fine, guys. Next one, user registration page. User will submit that registration page. Na? Then we need one method to handle the user registration. So the user registration will happen through a post method. So we need to take that post method here. I need to take a post method, handle registration. So this is going to be a post mapping method now. So earlier we have taken a get request method. Now we are taking for the post mapping method now. Okay, handle registration. registration form DTO we are going to get. Register form DTO. Register form DTO, comma model object. So what we need to do the user registration now? First we need to check that user already available with the email ID or not. Duplicate email check we need to do first. Okay, so duplicate email check we need to do. If the duplicate email check is there, then we should not do the user registration. So for this I'm going to write user service dot duplicate email check with the register form DTO dot get email. Register form DTO dot get email method I am calling. It is going to return true or false value. Okay, status. Right. If status is true, that means email is already available. Then we need to send the error message. Model dot add attribute. Model dot add attribute. Error message I'm going to send to the UI saying that duplicate email found. Okay, I'm going to say the duplicate email found. Then else if it is not duplicate email, then I'm going to call the user registration. If it is not the duplicate email, then I'm going to call the user registration. So for this I will do user service dot save user. I will pass the user form DTO object, then it will return the save user. If it is true, then if save user is true, then success message, else I will say the error message. If save user is successful, then success message, otherwise error message, user saved. Okay, then here failed to save. Failed to save. So this is the logic. So whenever you click on the submit button here, sign up button, when you click now, then the request will come to the post method. User handle registration method is available. Handle user registration method is available. In this method, we are going to do the duplicate email check, guys. Duplicate email check we are going to do. So in this duplicate email check, we are calling another service layer method. It is verify with the given mail ID, record is already available or not. Find by email. If the record is already available, if email not equal to null, then it will return true. True means the record is already available. False means the record is not available. So if the record is already available, status is true, duplicate email found, I will stop the registration. If the email is not available, then I am going to call the save user method. So inside the save user method, lot of logic available. So we are copying the form binding object data to the entity object. We are setting the country, we are setting the state, we are setting the city, we are generating the random password, we are setting the password for the user object, and we are setting the password updated as no, and we are calling the save method. Once the user is saved, then we are sending the email also to the user. If user is saved successfully, then I will send success message to the UI. Otherwise, I will send error message to the UI. So this is a success message. I will say that user registration successful. Registration successful. Registration successful. Please check your email. Okay, user don't have the password to log in. User should know the password. So that user password we are sending to the email. So that's why I'm giving a message. Once the user registration got successful, I'm telling to the user, please check your email. Okay, so then model.add attribute message duplicate email found. Duplicate email found. So then we are returning back to the register page only. Okay, look at this handle registration method now. So this first method to load the form, registration form we need to load. For that country's data we are taking. Then next one, this is used to get the states based on the country selection. It is directly returning the response. So we are using response body. And the cities method based on the state ID, we are loading the cities directly by using response body. Registration method is available. Now just look at this method, handle user registration. Can you guys look at this handle user registration method now? Guys, can you look at handle user registration method? Handle user registration method. Are you able to understand this? When user submit the form, a post request will come to the Sun controller. In that we are calling a service method to check user is already available with the same email ID or not. If user is already available with the same email ID, we are not going to create that user. If user is not available with the same email ID in the system, then only we are going to create that user. Based on that, we are going to send a success message and error message. Okay, so once this is completed, when we are loading the same page again, we need to send the countries also again. When the page is reloading, then again we need to fetch the countries and we need to send that countries data to the UI. Otherwise, our page cannot be loaded. So first time when the page is loading, we are sending the countries data. First time when we are loading the page, we are sending the countries data. After user registration got completed, we are displaying the same page. So that's why again we need to send the countries data in the drop down. Otherwise, the page cannot be reloaded after form submission.
So we
After
can
some submission, we need to reload the same page. To reload the same page, again countries drop down data should be displayed. So that's why we are sending that service countries again in the model object.
So we can make redirection.
Redirection also we can do, that is also fine. If you do the redirection, this message will not come on that page. We need to use a flash attribute if you are redirecting. Direct model will not be available if you are going for the redirection. So guys, you understand why I am sending the countries again to the UI? So you will submit this form. Then again you are landing on the same form. So first time when you are loading the form, countries data will come to the drop down. Then you will select the details and you will click on sign up. Then same page should be loaded again. For that again countries data required for the drop down. So that's why after form submission also I'm setting model.add attribute, countries data will be loaded. Are you clear with the register method, guys? Post method. There are two register methods available. One is get register method is available to load the empty page with the countries and with the form binding object. Then post register method is available, which is used to handle the registration. When user click on submit button to perform the user registration, we are using this post method.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So why we are writing inner else again, sir? Like we are writing already e-message, duplicate email found, right? Again, why we are writing
Sorry,
model
this is failed to registration failed. Okay. So first time this is for duplicate email. Then we are saving the user. If user is saved successfully, success message. Registration success. Please check your email for the details. Please check your email for credentials, for login credentials. Then failed to save. Model.add attribute, message, registration failed. If it is success, success message. If it is failure, failure message. So to implement one registration form in the application, total we have taken 4 methods, guys. One method to load the form, one method to get the states, one method to get the cities, one method to handle the registration. Total 4 methods I have taken for user registration page. Now you check. Yesterday I asked you to implement. How many of you able to implement this? How many of you able to implement this? 4 methods I have taken for first page. Come on, guys, you check it. Whether you are able to get this idea that we need to write 4 methods in order to develop the user registration functionality in our application. We need to develop 4 methods in order to develop the user registration functionality in our application. Can you respond in the chat box? How many of you has done like this? How many of you has done the mistake here? How many of you has done the mistake here? How many of you has done the correct approach here? Come on, I need your response, guys.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So what is kickoff states?
Sorry.
What is kickoff states? Kickoff stage.
Kickoff state.
Yes, sir. Kickoff stage.
Release stage. Kickoff stage means we are releasing.
Okay.
Good, guys. So with this, we are able to write the methods for the registration page now. Next up, let's go for the methods required for the login page. How many methods are required for the login page, guys? 2. How many methods we need to write for the login page now? 2. So we need to write the 2 methods for the login page. We need to write 2 methods for the login page. One is used to load the login page. Another one is used for handling the login button. Okay. So let us go to our controller and let us write one method, public. Just I'm writing, later we will test it whether they are working or not. Public string index. So this is my login page method which will display the login page. So index means I will return that login page for the index method. So I'm going to take modal object as a parameter and let me write this with the get mapping method at the rate get mapping. Then I'm using slash. So when you hit the URL directly, I want to get the login page of our application. So I will create login form DTO for the form binding. Login form DTO is equal to new login form DTO object. Login form DTO object I have created and I am sending this one. Okay, so how to send this data? Modal dot add attribute key comma value. So which is login form and login form DTO object we are sending. Okay, so this is the method which is used to display login page in our application. Okay, index method is available. Login form DTO object I created. Modal dot add attribute of login form object we have created, and we are sending that to the login page. Login page we are returning. Just a binding object we are sending to the login method. Just a binding object we are sending to the login method. Form binding object. That's it. We are just sending form binding object here. Then after this, user will enter the credentials and will submit. So credentials may be valid, credentials may be invalid also. Okay, fine. Can you read this functionality once? Can you read the 2 points? Based on that, we need to implement the method. Based on that, we need to implement the method. Can you read that functionality?
when user logins for the first time, reset password page will be displayed. When user logins for the second time, dashboard
will come directly. Okay, good. So based on that, we need to implement our requirement. So go here and let us create one method to handle user login. Okay, handle user login. So we are going to get login form DTO object. Login form DTO object we are going to get, and model is available. Handle user login functionality. User login functionality means it is a post method. So I'm going for @post mapping and slash login. @post mapping slash login we are getting. Are you guys clear with my point?
Sir, can we just call it as login method, sir, instead of index method, that line 69?
Yeah, you can write any name for the method.
Okay,
Method
sir.
name can be anything.
Right.
URL pattern I have given as empty. So if you use localhost colon 8080, then this login page will be displayed.
Right.
Okay.
Empty page.
So once you click on the login button, then the request will come to this post mapping method. So which is taking login form DTO object as a parameter, and it is taking model object as a parameter. So now here, now what we need to do is we need to check first the user given credentials are valid or not. Okay, so for this we are having user service dot login. Okay, login form DTO object I am passing. What this method is returning now? User DTO object it is returning. So when I call the login method, so if you see the login method is returning user DTO object. Check it. So in this login method, what is there? Find by email ID and password. With the given email ID and password, it is trying to retrieve the user record. So if the user record is not equal to null, it will copy the entity object data to the DTO object and it will return the DTO object. If the record is available, we will get the DTO object. If the record is not available, then we will get the null value. According to that, we need to implement our logic. User service.login, we got the user DTO object. Suppose if user DTO is equal to null, what is the meaning of that? If user DTO is equal to null, then what is the meaning of that, guys?
No
credential
for
Credentials are invalid. Credentials are invalid. Simply can I do like this? Model dot add attribute of error message invalid credentials. Simply can I say model dot add attribute invalid credentials? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so when user click on that login button, we are getting the form object, form data, login form data we are getting. Okay, so then I'm calling user service.login with the binding object, then it is going to give me user DTO object. If user DTO is equal to null, that means there is no record available. There is no record available in the database with the given details. There is no record available in the database with the given details, then we will consider that as invalid credentials. We will consider that as invalid credentials, guys. Suppose if user record is available, then what we need to do? If user record is available in the database, then what is the next step, guys?
It's a first time to login, we display the reset password.
If user login credentials are valid, then we need to do some check whether user is trying to log in first time or user is trying to log in second time. Okay, if user DTO is equal to null, then we will send the error message else. Observe carefully. Now user DTO dot get password updated. User DTO dot get password updated. I'm checking. So here, if yes, dot equals to password updated. That means user password is already updated, else password is not updated. Okay, password is updated, display dashboard. Okay, password is not updated, then display reset password page. Are you guys clear with my point now?
Yes, sir.
Look at the logic I'm writing inside the login method. So when user submit the login button, the request will come to this post request method. With that, I'm going to check user record is already available or not available. If user record is not available, directly invalid credentials I'm going to send. For example, if user record is available, then I am checking password is updated or not. Then I'm checking password is updated or not. If yes dot equals password updated, that means we need to display dashboard page directly for the user. We need to display dashboard page directly for the user. Else, we need to display reset password page for the user. Are you guys able to understand the conditions I'm writing now? Look at this login method, handle user login. I'm calling user service.login method, which is giving me user DTO object. If user DTO is equal to null, then model.add attribute invalid credentials. If user DTO is not null, that means credentials are valid only. Then I am checking user password is updated or not updated. So at the time of user registration, we are setting the password updated as no. Initially, we are setting the password updated as no. If a password updated is yes, that means already updated, go to dashboard page. If the password is not updated, then display reset password page. Okay, so for this one, I'm writing one method called public string dashboard. Public string dashboard method I am writing. So here I'm taking model object. Okay, so this method I am writing at the rate get mapping dashboard page. Okay, so I will return the page name as dashboard.html. Now what I will do, I will inject a dashboard service. I need to get the random quotation, right? To get the random quotation, dashboard service is available. Here method is available, get quotation. It will get the quote API response for us. Okay. Now I am going to inject a dashboard service also in my controller. Private dashboard service. Okay, so we will use at the rate auto wiring. Dashboard service we are injecting into our user controller. Dashboard service we injected into our user controller. Now I have created one dashboard method. Okay, dashboard service dot get quote. So I'm going to get some random quotation from this third party API. So which is quote response object I am getting. Okay, quote API response DTO I am getting. Then simply I will send it to UI model.add attribute. The quote is the key and the object is quote API response DTO, and I will return dashboard method. Dashboard page I am going to return. Dashboard page I am going to return. Can you understand this method what I am trying to do? I'm writing one method called dashboard method. What this dashboard method is doing, so it is calling dashboard service dot get quote method. When you go for get quote method, which is having REST template, which is a predefined class in the web MVC, which will talk to third party API and will get the response in the JSON. That JSON response we are storing into our API response DTO class. So whatever the response we are getting in the form of DTO, that object directly I'm sending to the UI. So using that object, I can access the quotation author, quote ID, quote name, quote author also we can access by using this quote API response DTO object. By using
In
quote
this-
API response DTO object, we can access the quote ID, the quote actual quote, and the author. We can access that data. So this method is the dashboard method. When this dashboard method should be executed, when user is logged in successfully, if user credentials are valid, if user password is already updated, then what I will do? Simply I will return redirect the user to the dashboard page. Redirect the user to the dashboard page. Are you clear with my point?
Sir, since we are so user management is same for all, that's the reason we are not using HTTP servlet request, session object and all.
Not required, sir. Not required.
Not required, right? So it is same for all. So that's the reason, right?
Yes. Guys, are you able to understand the dashboard method here? Are you able to understand the dashboard method?
Yes, sir, understand, sir.
Yes. So if you see the login, if login credentials are successful, model.add attribute, key comma value. If login is a success, password is updated or not. If a password is updated, yes means directly I'm returning the dashboard. What is the logic in the dashboard? It is calling dashboard service.get quote method. That quote I am sending to the UI. Okay. If a password is not updated, if a password updated is no, then what is the logic we need to do? If password updated is no, then what is the logic we need to implement, guys? What is the logic we need to implement if the password updated is no?
Reset password.
Reset
Right.
password we need to set.
Yes, we need to display reset password page for the user. We need to display reset password page for the user. And you need to, here you can do two things. You can write one method and redirect the request to that method if the password is not updated. Okay, simply I can return redirect reset password page. Simply I can return to redirect to reset password page. So what is the meaning of reset password page here? What is the meaning of redirect reset password page? We need to create one method which is responsible to display the page like this. Okay, when user is logged in, so we are checking the credentials are valid or not. When user is logged in, we are checking the credentials are valid or not. If credentials are not valid, no problem. Directly the error message will come, invalid credentials. If credentials are valid, then we are checking the condition, user password is updated, yes or not. If a password is already updated, directly send the user to the dashboard page. If user password is not updated, then send the user to the reset password page. Send the user to the reset password page. So when I'm sending the user to the reset password page, I need to send the email also, which email ID that user is logged in. With which email that user is logged in, based on that email ID, we are going to display the reset password page. As user is logged in successfully, so here you can use the session. Here you can store the user data in the session and you can access that email ID in the reset password page, or else you can send that email ID directly as a query parameter. Email is equal to, so that is user DTO dot get email. Okay, so when I am redirecting the request to this reset password page, I'm sending one email also, email ID also I am sending here. Question mark I need to use. My keyboard question mark symbol is not working. Okay, so I need to use the question mark here. So that is, I'm using this question mark in order to send the query parameter. I'm using that question mark in order to send the query parameter, guys. How to press this?
Sir, shift, it will work.
Question mark email I am using. So question mark email is equal to user dto.get email. What is the purpose of sending email ID in the URL, guys? Here two ways you can do. You can use a session because user is already logged in. User login is successful, then only this logic will execute. Then you can use a session. You can use a session and you can store the user email ID in the session. Okay. So if you don't want to use this approach now, then simply you can create a session and you can store user email in the session object. In the reset password page, you can take that email ID from the session when user is trying to update the password. So which one you want, session or query parameter?
This one.
Query parameter. Yes, simply you can keep that. When we are redirecting the request, we are going to use reset password page question mark email is equal to this one. So whenever user login successful, if a password updated is yes, then he will go to the dashboard page. If the password is not updated, he will go to the reset password page. When he is going to the reset password page URL, I'm sending user logged in user email ID also. I'm sending that logged in user email ID also for the reset password page here. Logged in user email ID, I'm sending for the reset password page here. Now, I need to write one method which is used to display only the reset password page. Okay, that is a get method. So public string load reset password page. Load reset password page. So it is expecting email ID as a query parameter and we are taking model. To read the email ID as a query parameter, we will use request param annotation. So which we are sending in the key and value format. So login method is redirecting the request to reset password page method, right? So this is get request method at the rate get mapping the URL pattern. This is the URL pattern. Now I need to return reset password page method. Okay, return reset password page. I need to load this page when user logged in successfully first time. When user logged in first time, then password updated is no. Then it will go to reset password page along with the email ID in the query parameter. So in this method, I'm taking that email ID from the query parameter. Then I'm going to create reset password DTO. Reset password form DTO is available. Reset password form DTO is equal to new reset password form DTO object. I will set the email ID for this form because email ID we are pre-populating in the form. We are already displaying email ID in the form with which email they logged in. Okay, reset password form DTO dot set email. When I'm sending the object, I'm sending the email ID also in the object. So earlier we sent empty objects for the forms, but first time we are sending a object with data. So when you are going for the registration page DTO is empty object I am sending. When you go for login method also, login form DTO empty object I am sending. But for the reset password page, I'm sending the object along with the email. That is the requirement. So when user login with valid credentials, first time password updated is no, then user will go to reset password page. In the reset password page, I'm displaying the email ID. I'm displaying the email ID here. So that's why when login is successful, if a password updated is no, it will be redirected to reset password page along with the user email as a query parameter. Then this is my method URL, reset password page URL. So this method is expecting email ID from the query parameter. That email ID I'm setting to the form DTO object and I'm returning reset password page. Then this page will be loaded. I can display the email ID. Then I can ask user to enter the new password, confirm password, and submit button. Ask the user to enter new password, confirm password, and submit button. So once the user is submit that, then again we are going to write one method, handle password reset. Okay, handle password reset. So this one, reset password post mapping. When user want to update the password, then I'm going to take this as a post mapping reset password. I'm going to get the reset password form DTO object as a parameter. Reset password form DTO I'm going to get as a parameter. Then I am having my service method user service dot reset password. User service dot reset password. Password reset is completed. If reset password is successful, then return redirect that user to dashboard. If your password is updated, then you will be redirected to the dashboard. Otherwise, you will be on the same page. Okay, are you able to understand these four methods? One is login method. First of all, for the registration, four methods available. One is to load the user registration page. Then one is used to get the states based on the countries. Another method, third method, to get the cities based on the state ID. And this is actual user registration. When user submit the register form, this is the actual method which is going to execute. Then this is method to load the login form, and this is the method to handle the user login. When user submit the login, this is the method which is going to execute. And once login is successful, if a password updated is yes, then this is the dashboard page method. It is going to get the quotation and will send you to the dashboard page. Suppose if your password updated is no, then it will be redirecting your request to reset password page. So this is the method which is going to display reset password for you. Reset password for you. So it is going to display reset password page for you. So when we are displaying the reset password page, I'm going to use the binding object along with the email ID to display. I'm using binding object in order to display. Okay. So once it is done, then when user go to that page, he can enter the new password or confirm password and he will update. So once he click on the update, this post mapping method will call, which is reset password method. So it is going to call the service method with the binding object reset password method. So it is going to get the user record based on the email ID. It will set the password as a new password and it will set the password updated as yes. So when you log in second time, this is yes na. So you will go to the dashboard page directly. Only first time you will go to reset password page and you update the password. Second time directly you will go to dashboard page where it will display the quotation for you. Once your password updated successfully, then it will redirect you to the dashboard page only. It is returning true once the password is updated. Then directly, once the password is updated, you will go to dashboard page where the quotation will be displayed for you. That quotation we are getting from the third party API. A quotation will be displayed for you. That quotation we are getting from the third party API. Are you clear with my point?
Sir, in the mini one project, we did not use this redirect, right, sir? Can we directly say the HTML page name without redirect, sir?
No, sir. If you want to send the HTML page directly, then again you need to send this data. Okay, so that is not a static HTML, that is a dynamic HTML. So for the dynamic HTML, we need to build that data also.
Okay, sir. This case it
It's
is
better to
static one, sir,
redirect here.
because this is static, sir. That's why.
Yeah. This is a dynamic page, sir. Dashboard page getting the quotation. So here, if I simply redirect it to the dashboard HTML, then what will happen? It is an empty page only. Now, where is the data for that page?
Oh,
So that's the reason I'm redirecting. When I redirect it, this method will be called. This method will fetch the quotation, will send the quotation to the UI. If you simply return the dashboard, it will come as a empty HTML, no data. That's why I'm redirecting.
okay. Okay, sir.
You got my point?
Right.
So, sir, when we are redirecting, so it is redirect to the URL, right? Not to the
Correct.
HTML.
Yes. It will go to that method basically. Redirect dashboard method is there now. So is there any method which is having the URL with the dashboard? You will go to that method.
Okay, so we are mapping URL.
Yes. Redirection to the URL we are giving, not to the method name. Redirection to the URL we are using.
Line 114, we don't need that redirection, sir, because that is directly we are going to that
Yes.
base here.
We are already
after the result.
retrieved the data. We already have
Right.
the data that we need to send to the UI, and we are
Right.
sending to the UI.
Yeah. Sir, another question I have is why we need the quote ID and other fields, sir? All we need is
Not
just quote,
required.
right?
So just only we need quote and author. The remaining things are not required. We can skip them.
Right. Even author also is not needed, right, sir?
So people asked me to display that. That's why I have taken it. Anyhow, third party is giving that. We can display in the page. This is the quotation. This is the author of the quotation.
Right, sir. But as per our requirement, we are showing only the quote, right, sir, right now?
Correct. Correct.
Right. Right. Okay.
So guys, with this, we are able to complete the methods of our controller. Now you check it. How many of you able to do this? How many of you done this? Whatever the logic I have written today, almost 100 lines of code I have written today. So are you guys able to complete this? I have given the time yesterday also. I asked you people, you should try to implement the logic before coming to the class. Now, is your implementation and my implementation both are matching, or is there any difference? Your implementation and my implementation, is it matching or it is different? Come on, quickly respond. Your implementation, my implementation, is it matching or it is not matching? I want to know from you. Come on, guys. Your implementation is matching with my implementation, or is there any difference in your implementation? I'm not getting any response.
So 70-80% it is matching to me.
Yes, sir.
Where is that gap?
Same.
Where is the 20% gap is there?
Using the methods, like we use the method in some other way, sir. Like some methods we use in the service class where you used in a controller.
Okay.
Some people use maps but to communicate with the entity class and DTO class. So is it a good practice to use it or not?
Your question is not clear.
The map struct.
So can you repeat your question? I am not understanding that question.
Coding, some people using map struct while to communicate between entity classes and DTO classes. So is it a good
Mapping, that
practice
means to convert the data, sir. I used bean utils to convert the data. If you see my
Okay.
user service IMPL, I have used DTO conversions here, copy properties. Some people will use a model mapper to copy the data from one object to another object. So anything is fine. You just need to copy the data from one object to another object. That's it. Any questions so far? Anybody having any questions so far? Now, what is the pending part in this project?
HTML pages.
We just need to create the HTML pages. So all the complete Java logic is completed, guys. All the Java logic is completed. Our services are ready and our controllers also ready. Our one controller only I have taken. In one controller, can you see what all the methods, how many methods I have taken in the controller? You can check it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Total 9 methods I have taken in the controller. Can you quickly see the methods that I have taken for the controller? Total there are 9 methods available in the controller. Total there are 9 methods available in the controller. Please check the methods that we have taken. Total 9 methods we have taken in the controller. First method, which is used to load the registration page. First method to load the registration page. This method to get the states based on the country ID. This method to get the cities based on the state ID. This method to perform the user registration. Okay, actual user registration will happen here. This method to display index page, which is login page. From the login page, user can click on register. This method is used to implement, this is used to handle the user login functionality. So if user login is successful, then condition I'm checking. If a password is updated, then go for a dashboard. If a password not updated, then go for reset password page. Okay, then go to the dashboard method. Dashboard method, here making a third party API call for the dashboard method. Dashboard service.get quote, which is getting the random quotations from third party API, which is getting random quotation from third party API, and we are returning dashboard with that response. Then reset password page will be loaded here. Okay, then when user update the password, this reset password method will be called, and if the password is updated, it will redirect the user to the dashboard. From the dashboard, when user click on the logout, then he can come back to this index page where the login page available now. When user click logout, then I will bring the user back to the login page only. When user click logout, will bring the user back to the login page. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yes. So now we need to develop UI pages. Just basic HTML pages we need to develop. Okay. Before going to work on the HTML pages, anybody having any questions on this? Any confusion? Any logic that you are not able to understand that I have implemented today? Any logic that you are not able to understand that I have implemented today?
Hello, Ashok sir.
Yes.
Yeah, the conversion of TTO classes to entity classes or entity classes to TTO classes only applicable during the fetching the details from server and posting the details to the
Anywhere,
server.
sir, anytime, whenever you want to copy the transfer data from one object to another object, then you can use that copy properties. It's not only fetching from the server, not only sending to the server. In any scenario that you have, so you have a requirement that you have data in one object, you want to get that data into another, you want to copy the data into another object. Then you can use copy properties, or you can use model mapper.
Okay. So this conversion is little bit confusing. I mean, I can understand how we are converting that object.
Converting means one object data in one object. Suppose object one having email ID, object two having email ID. From object one, we will get the email and we will set that email to the object two. That is called conversion. One object properties, one object variables data, we are copying into another object variables. That is called conversion. Copying, it's not conversion, it is just copying the data from one object to another object. Variable by variable, the copy will happen.
Yeah, in mini last mini
In the
project
first
we
project,
did
I have not used it, sir. Yes.
yeah. So in real time also we are maintaining these TTO classes.
Yes.
I mean,
In the real time, entities and DT posts will be separate.
okay.
We don't use one class for both entity and DTO. Entities and DTOs we are going to use separate in the real time.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, anybody?
So variable name should be matched in both DTO
Variable
and
names and data types, both should match. Then only the data will be copied from one object to another object. Here, if you see, I'm copying DTO entity object data to the DTO. Copy properties entity to DTO. This is the target, this is the source, and this is the target. So in the user entity, whatever the variables which are matching with the user DTO, only those variables data will be copied. So this variable names and data types should match, then only those properties will be copied. If it is not matching, it will skip that property. Only which variables matching, only those variables data it is going to copy, remaining variables data it is going to skip.
okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good guys, fine, thank you. With this I'm stopping now. Tomorrow we'll finish the UI part for this one. So basic HTML pages, form binding pages we need to develop. Already we know how to develop the form binding pages. In the first mini project also we have done. Same thing we are going to do. So tomorrow only one new concept we are going to learn, that is Ajax calls. So dependent drop downs. When the country is selected, how the states are coming. When the state is selected, how the cities are coming, that we are going to implement in the tomorrow session by using Ajax. Once it is done, the remaining HTML pages are very simple. Just we need to display the form binding pages.
Hello,
Okay?
sir.
Yes.
So happy Teachers Day, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
We are very much grateful to have you in our life as a teacher.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Your
guys.
teaching style is so easy, sir.
Happy Teachers Day, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
Happy Teachers Day.
Happy Teachers Day.
Happy Teacher Day, sir. Happy Teacher Day.
Bless you, sir.
Happy Teacher Day, sir.
Thank you, guys. So with this, I'm stopping for today. We'll meet again in the tomorrow session. Tomorrow we are going to work on Ajax calls implementation for our project. Okay, good. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.